Hi guys, my name is Dr. Daniel Ricciardi. I'm a gut health expert, licensed pharmacist, and fitness enthusiast. I help clients resolve bloating, gas, and other digestive issues so they can look and feel their best. This video today is going to be for people who are currently doing intermittent fasting or are interested in starting intermittent fasting. And I'm going to talk about which beverages are okay to do while intermittent fasting, as in they will not break your fast, and which ones should be avoided. Intermittent fasting is a dietary approach that is proven to have tremendous health benefits in a variety of different ways. Some include gut healing, helping with motility, improving the body's ability to burn fat, reducing cravings, weight loss, and many others. The important factor in doing intermittent fasting, specifically in the fasting portion, is that we are not allowing insulin to be released. Insulin is a hormone that is released by your pancreas that helps shuttle glucose into your cells. This is a critical body process and is not inherently bad in itself, but when you're doing intermittent fasting, you want this longer period of time where this process is not taking place. And if insulin is always being spiked, we're not gaining the benefits of intermittent fasting. To accomplish this, intermittent fasting uses what are known as an eating window and a fasting window. This means that you have a designated period of time in the day in hours where you are supposed to be eating and a designated period of time in hours where you should be fasting. There's not one single correct number of hours for eating and fasting window. It can depend on what your schedule will allow, personal preferences, and what you're able to tolerate. In general, an eating window is typically between 6 and 10 hours of the day, and because there's 24 hours in the day, hours of the day that you're not eating, that would be your fasting window where you don't want to spike insulin. It makes perfect sense that eating is not allowed as you're doing intermittent fasting in the fasting phase, but drinks are a little bit more of a gray area, at least in terms of what you can and what you cannot drink. Now I'll discuss exactly this. What is okay to drink that will not break your fast, and which drinks should be avoided during the fasting period. First thing I'll say is, if you look at a bottle or a box and you're trying to decide if it's okay to consume, if you see that it contains carbohydrates or sugar, I would avoid it because it's going to spike your insulin and break your fast. Some examples include, but are not limited to, coconut water, sodas, fruit juice, all different types of milk, including cow's milk, coconut milk, almond milk, and also tonic water. A note on sweeteners: regular table sugar does contain calories, so this will break your fast. If possible, it's probably better just to avoid these added sweeteners altogether, but if you are looking to sweeten up some of your drinks, a couple that you can use relatively safely and effectively would be monk fruit and also stevia. However, if you are going to consume stevia, be careful. There's different ingredients that the stevia can actually be made from, and you're going to want to avoid one with maltodextrin. Sugar alcohols, anything that ends in OL, such as xylitol, I would probably avoid these. If you have issues with gut health, these can notoriously be difficult to digest and cause gut issues and cause some discomfort after you ingest them. Other artificial sweeteners such as sucralose and aspartame, which is also hilariously another name for it is NutraSweet, these should also be avoided, and I'll talk a little bit more about these later. Water is obviously fine to drink. You can add salt, you can add lemon, you can add apple cider vinegar. These are all okay to do. Sparkling water is also alright. It does contain carbon dioxide gas, which can cause some bloating from the excessive gas, but it will not break your fast. Diet sodas definitely should be avoided. As I mentioned briefly before, a lot of them contain aspartame, sucralose, and to be fair, they contain a lot of other chemicals as well, but aspartame, sucralose, they're known to be very detrimental to your gut health. And another thing they can actually do is they appear to the body and brain like their regular sugar, so they can cause your brain to send a signal down to your pancreas to say, okay, we have some sugar coming into the body, prepare to release some insulin. So they can actually break the fast, and because you're actually releasing insulin when there's no sugar there, it can actually drive the blood sugar levels down. So this in response can cause cravings for other sugars, other carbohydrates, make you eat more food, and make you gain weight. In terms of coffee, black coffee is perfectly fine. I would not add any table sugar to coffee. If you wanted to sweeten it a little bit, you could add the stevia that we talked about before. I don't know if monk fruit is meant to go in coffee or if that's any good. Another great option is either using grass-fed butter or medium chain triglycerides, which is MCT oil. Using these is not actually 0 calorie. A tablespoon of MCT oil or grass-fed butter actually contains about 100 calories, so it seems like it wouldn't really make sense. However, MCT oil, grass-fed butter are only comprised of fatty acids. They don't contain sugar or carbs, so as a result, they're not going to cause a spike in insulin. Other benefits of doing this, it can actually slow the absorption of caffeine into your body, which if you're somebody that gets jittery from drinking coffee, it may help with this. And this can also help suppress appetite. If if you're fasting in the morning, this can really help bridge the gap from when you wake up until your first meal of the day, which may not be until the afternoon. In terms of creamers to put into coffee, half and half is half milk and half cream, and milk contains sugars, so that should be avoided. However, heavy whipping cream is pure fat, so in theory, using a little bit of that would not break your fast. These obviously contain dairy, so if you have a dairy sensitivity or suspect that you do, maybe reconsider using these. Same goes for the grass-fed butter, which I mentioned previously. In terms of teas, an herbal tea or a green tea without any added sweeteners is perfectly fine to do and will not break your fast and can be an enjoyable beverage in the morning. But what about drinks with just pure protein in them? There are zero carb protein powders and amino acids out there that exist. The way that the body metabolizes proteins and amino acids, it can actually cause a spike in insulin. So these two actually should be avoided. Bone broth is another beverage that should also be avoided because it too contains a certain amount of protein and for the same reason can cause a spike in insulin. This is not a complete list of beverages, but it does give you a good head start on what is okay to drink and what is not okay to drink in terms of breaking your fast with intermittent fasting. Let me know in the comments if you've tried intermittent fasting or you're currently doing so right now. If you found the video to be helpful, please like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you can see daily content that I post on gut health and fitness related topics. Thanks so much for watching.